Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast. Now, you likely have heard all about Laravia-sanity, but have you ever heard about Laravia-sanity? I guess it kind of just works on its own, huh? What if I told you that for 1 week, Jake LaRavia looked like a flat-out all-star? Now, I know what you're saying. Yeah, for 1 week over a 3-game span, anyone can get hot, anyone can look like an all-star. And to that I'd say, fair. Especially if you've ever played fantasy basketball and had to use players like Samardo Samuels during the last week of the regular season. Having said that, why don't we take a closer look at Jake LaRavia's 3-game stretch during the last week of the 2024 NBA regular season, and you can decide for yourself whether Laravia-sanity 2024 was a fluke or a flash of upside. So like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, please hit subscribe, and let me tell you about the tale of Jake LaRavia's 1 week of God-tier play. Alright, so our Laravia-sanity journey begins on April 10th, 2024, and starts in Cleveland. Now, typically I would dismiss and write off any 3-game hot stretch from any player. But the thing about this stretch from Jake LaRavia is, he scored 28 plus points in each of these 3 games. So it wasn't just one of those fluctuating 18 points one night, 25 points the next night, 21 points the next night. This dude legitimately scored 28 plus points and a bunch of other counting stats on every single night. And in this 3-game stretch to end the 2024 NBA season from 4-10 to 4-14, Jake LaRavia averaged 29.7 points, 5 rebounds, 3.7 assists, on 55% from the field, 53% from 3, knocking down 5 threes a game, 90% from the stripe, 1 steal, 0.6 blocks, and quite a hefty 3 turnovers, but that's to be expected. Game 1, 4-10 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. In this game, Jake LaRavia put up 32 points, on 10 of 18 from the field, 8 of 11 from 3, 4 of 5 from the stripe. He pulled down 7 boards, dished out 1 assist, and had 2 steals, 1 block, and a pretty messy 5 turnovers in 40 minutes. And in this game, Jake went absolutely berserk from 3. He was knocking down all sorts of ridiculous threes, from step-back fadeaway threes, transition pull-up threes with 23 seconds still left on the shot clock, buzzer-beating threes coming off curls with dudes right in his grill. Check out this sick crossover step-back 3 where he dropped Isaac Okoro to the floor. Yeah, he pushed off, but that's what you get when you get in Jake in the Box's way. And then he still did his job as a rebounder and as a defender as well, grabbing 7 boards and remaining active on the defensive end of the floor to get his team darting out the other way. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, because with the added on-ball usage came more risky plays, more defensive focus, a shakier handle with that defensive focus, and more turnovers. Jake ended up coughing the ball up 5 times, but you know what? Sometimes it's all worth it for the sauce. And if you just look at the ways that they were deploying Jake on the ball, he was able to dance around with the ball a little bit, try and break a defense down. They had him coming off screens as a movement shooter. He had free reign to sort of explore his space, and with that free reign, we were able to see a little bit more of Jake's creativity and shake on the ball. And when all was said and done, Jake LaRavia had himself a career night in Ohio. 32 points to this day is still his career high. But 32 points, 7 rebounds on 8 of 11 from 3, very impressive. Now the question is, could he do it again? Fast forward to 2 nights later against our Los Angeles Lakers, 4-12, back in Memphis, and Jake LaRavia followed up his 32.7 rebound performance with 28 points on 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 11 of 11 from the stripe. He pulled down 3 boards, and this time he dished out 6 assists. He also had 1 steal, 1 block, and limited his turnovers to just 1 as well. and he did this all in 43 minutes. And in this game versus the Lakers, he showed off a little bit more of his all-around versatility. Once again, he was able to play around with the ball a little bit, and whether it was him using a nice combo of crafty pace dribbles to make his way all the way into the paint for easy buckets, or him saucing up his own AMR agency teammate in Austin Reaves with some nice in-between crossover dribbles for the step-back three. And then, as I mentioned, in this game, Jake LaRavia was also able to showcase a little bit more of his tertiary, secondary playmaking skills as well. Whether it was him swinging the ball around quickly and making nice reads in the flow of the offense, or him attacking the gaps and caving the defense in and then pitching the ball out off his own dribble, he did a great job of leveraging his gravity as a shooter to drive and kick and keep the ball moving. Also, he got to the stripe 11 times and didn't miss a single free throw, using his good frame to get to the bucket and draw contact. Now, what's crazy about this blow-up game against the Lakers is, he actually did this to the Lakers before. Because just 2 weeks earlier, LaRavia had an arguably even better performance versus the Lakers, when he dropped 25 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, on 9 of 14 from the field, and look, the dude knocked down 7 of 9 from 3. He was roasting Lakers players left and right, yo-yoing the ball like he was on an and one street ball tour, and then pulling up on dudes right in their grills like he's been Devin Booker his entire life. So yeah, clearly, for whatever reason, Jake had it out for the Lakers and Austin Reaves. But good on him, because these 2 games against the Lakers are probably what got him his contract, and they were probably being played on loop in the background of Rob Pelinka's office when he made the call to Jake this summer. But yeah, so there's game 2. 28 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists after a 32.7 rebound game. Now, we know LaRavia Lightning can strike twice, but can it strike thrice is the question. And on the last game of the regular season, 4-14, Jake went out with an all-around bang against the Denver Nuggets. And look, I think it's important to note that in this game, the Nuggets were playing all of their main starters. So with that context in mind, Jake LaRavia decided to still go ahead and put up 29 points on 11 of 20 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3, knocking down 3 of 4 from the stripe, pulling down 5 rebounds, dishing out 4 assists, and once again coughing up 4 turnovers. Overall, it was a really nice all-around game from Jake LaRavia. He shot above 50% from the field once again, knocked down 4 3-pointers, continuing to show his 3-point versatility. He grabbed 5 boards and remained active on the defensive end of the floor, and then he also dished out 4 assists, really showing off his versatility and utility as a two-way player on both ends of the floor. Now, again, the 4 turnovers probably lends to the notion that his on-ball role should probably be reined in a little, but it's just nice to know that if the minutes and usage increases, Jake still provides more good than bad at the end of the day. And when you watch these games of him with the ball in his hands, reading the defense, navigating his way through the gaps in the floor, while he doesn't have that quick twitch shake that some of the most athletic players in the NBA have, he does have a very fluid, methodical way of using economic dribbles to get to his spots, never looking too out of control. And in a similar way to Luka, because he plays so methodically, the moment he busts out a quick 1-2 crossover dribble out of nowhere and then hits you with a spin move or first step, you're already gone. And what you have to like about Jake in these games where he's getting increased usage, more shot attempts, more minutes, is the fact that he's still doing all the little things that he was used to doing as a tertiary role player as well. He doesn't forget to rebound the ball, he doesn't forget to hustle on defense, he doesn't forget to make the right swing, read play. And so, to say Jake LaRavia closed out the 2024 NBA regular season on a strong note would be putting it lightly. So nice, he had to do it thrice, putting up another gem of a performance to close the season out and prove to the world that this is what you get when you let Jake cook it. So to recap things again, that's 32 points, 28 points, and 29 points, all in 1 week, all in the span of just 5 days. Hell of a week from Captain Jake Sparrow. Alright, so look, it was just 3 games, and the Grizzlies lost all 3 of those games. it was a complete looter in a riot situation for the tanking Grizzlies towards the end of the 2024 NBA season. Can't take much away from that, right? Sure, while that is true to an extent, and while you should take all of this with a grain of salt, if you are a glass half fuller person, and if you have watched enough Jake LaRavia tape throughout his career, you would know that nothing Jake LaRavia did in that 3-game stretch is too outside of the ordinary from what he typically does in much shorter bursts. And at the very least, even if you don't believe in those gaudy numbers, this 3-game stretch still showed his ceiling and his upside when given a larger role. So maybe he won't average 29 points per game as a starter, but could he average 16 to 17 points a game? I think so, because with that shot, with that surprising sauce, with that size, I think Jake LaRavia has a lot of untapped upside than we're giving him credit for. And that's no Jake. I mean, joke. But what do you guys think? Am I making too much of a fuss about a random 3-game sample size during the end of a lost NBA season? Or is there a little more than meets the eye with Jake from State Farm LaRavia? Let me know in the comments below, and please don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.